Well, I'm so excited to be with you on today. We are going to cover something extremely critical and important today. We're talking about there is a date that your credit card company works overtime to make sure they can hide it from you. And so we're going to be doing our best today to expose exactly what's happening and how you can position yourself in a much better place. You know, one of the things I love to do in life is to help entrepreneurs and individuals align credit, business, and life so the money can finally flow. A lot of times, what's stopping the flow in your life is simply being out of alignment. And so we are working today to deal with that. But we're going to talk about this date that the credit card company is hiding from us. And why they're hiding this date from us is critical and important. Before I get into this, I want to share some things around this that is extremely important that you know. I am a systems person. So, one of the things that I know about systems is when you are watching a system, you have to watch what the creators, the owners of the system, say about the system. Because normally what they are saying is all about making money. They try to divert you, direct you toward the things in the system that will bring them the greatest increase. Well, the credit system is absolutely no different. It operates the same way. There are some messaging things that happen in the credit system that you can count on. They're going to be this way consistently. They're never going to change. And this is the way it's been forever and ever. So we've got to, let's get this straight here. We've got to be in a position where we're not fooled by what the credit system is directing us toward. So today I'm going to take some time. I'm going to share a PowerPoint with you because you, like so many clients that I have, so many people that I speak to, may be being fooled by this system that is working overtime to keep you unaware of this date. But we're going to expose it to you right from the onset. We're going to get into it. So we're talking about the statement date versus the due date. What credit card companies don't want you to know. But we're going to expose it today so you are going to be not only aware, you're going to be able to operate in an excellent position. So let's get into it. First and foremost, the credit card system is not designed for your benefit. You got to get this in. You got to know this. It's designed to keep you focused on the wrong date so they can profit more. Today, we're going to fix that because today we're going to share with you what you should know, why you should know it, and how you should operate. Let's go on and see this. So, you got to know the difference between the statement date and the due date. And I'm breaking it down for you. This is the date. The statement date is the date your billing cycle closes. One thing you got to know about it. Your credit card company sends you your bill on this date. 2, they charge interest on your balance on this date. 3, they report your balance and payment to all 3 credit bureaus on this date. Now, here's the due date. When minimum payment is due. The due date, if you pay on the due date, you avoid late fees. Does not affect your credit score directly, though, and this is important. Whatever you pay on the due date will not show up on your credit score because it is not a reporting date. Next, this is what they want you to focus on. They want you to focus on the date that literally does nothing for you. If you go to your credit card online right now and you look to sign up for auto pay, their recommendation is going to always be the same: minimum payment on the due date, because it doesn't help your score and it doesn't have anything to do with what they are reporting about you. Let's keep going. Why do they hide the statement date? The credit card system profits when you pay after the statement date. So that means more interest. Your balance on the statement date is what gets charged interest. High balance equals higher interest charge every month. So they don't want you to pay on this date. They want you to wait. Because here's what you got to know. In the cycle for your credit card, your statement date really comes first. It actually comes 25 days before your due date. And in most cases, it begins a 30-day payment period. So your statement date is the starting point for payments that they're tracking. But it's the date that they take a snapshot to see where you are, and they report it and they charge you interest. Higher utilization. A high balance reported to the bureaus raises your utilization ratio. That crushes your credit score silently. You know how many clients I've had who say to me, Dwayne, listen, I don't know what's going on. I made a payment, but it's not showing up. Well, it's not going to show up because you made your payment in alignment with their due date, which is at the end of that cycle, and therefore it's after it's been reported. So you've got to wait for another month for it to get reported that you made that payment. So you can't play their game if you're trying to win. Then there's less leverage. Bad scores mean bad loan terms. You pay more for mortgages, car loans, and business credit. They win, you lose. Why? They win because they have spent their money making sure you focus on the due date. Now, I want to be very, very clear so that you understand this. The only people who benefit from paying on the due date are people who pay the balance in full. 88 to 92% of people in the United States do not pay their balances in full. And therefore, they will be hurt by paying on the due date. Let's continue. Now, 3 things again that happen on your statement date, and I want to enlarge upon this. This is the most important date on your credit card, period. Number 1, your bill is generated. Your credit card company closes your billing cycle and creates your statement. This locks in your balance for the month. I want you to hear that. It locks in your balance for the month. Number 2, interest is charged. If you carry a balance, they calculate and charge interest based on what's showing on your statement. High balance equals big interest hit. Now, this is before most people made a payment. Here they are charging the balance already, and we don't even know that we should have made a payment already. We're waiting for the due date, which is going to be many days later. 3, your balance is reported to the bureaus. So, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion all receive your balance and payment info. This drives your credit score, not the due date. This is critical, and this is important that we understand what is going on here. So now there's the 30% myth. Keep your utilization under 30%, set by the credit card system for their benefit. But here's the truth. People with excellent credit keep utilization under 10% on the statement date. 30% is the ceiling. 10% is the absolute target that you want to be shooting for. You will not get the highest benefit out of a credit card unless utilization is under 10% on your statement date. This is how you keep it moving and you keep moving forward. Now, what does your balance look like? We're going to use a $10,000 credit limit example. So the danger zone is the 30% to 100% usage. It's $3,001 or $10,000, and I'm talking statement date because that's when it's being reported. This is going to hurt your score, and they're going to profit a whole lot more. I guarantee you this much. Most of the people who I connect with, who we do credit work for, or for business owners that we are trying to get funded, they're in the danger zone. They are already above the 30%, and they're paying way too much to the credit card company because they don't understand they're in the danger zone. Then the 10 to 30% is acceptable by the system. That will be $1,001 to $3,000, but it is not ideal because the goal is raising the score and raising your opportunities. The way you raise your score and raise your opportunities is stay in the power zone. And what is the power zone? $0 to $1,000. This is what maximizes your score. Pay down your balance before your statement date. Keep it below 10% of your limit on that date, not the due date. That's what the credit bureaus actually see. So this is critical and important. Let's move forward. How to find your statement date right now. Number one, log into your account. Go to your credit card's online portal or the app. Look for statement date or closing date. It's in your account summary or billing details, not on the front page. 3, write it down for every card. This is your power date. Set a reminder 5 to 7 days before it. And 4, keep balance under 10% by that date. Pay early, before the statement closes. You don't want to pay on the statement date. Pay before it closes. Then pay the rest by the due date if you want to avoid interest. So you are really setting yourself up if you simply do what most of us don't know, and that is, listen, I've got to learn this date that they're trying to hide. They want to hide the statement date from me. So I'm going to learn the statement date. Now, this is about real money. Your credit score is not just a number. It is a pricing tool. So this is important. If you have a 580 credit score, which a lot of people are in this range, and you had an interest rate of 7.5%, which is low considering it depends what we're talking about. If it were a mortgage, that's, I can see that. But if it's credit cards and car loans, they're going to be much higher. But let's just say your payment is $2,194 a month. 30-year cost is $40,000 extra than someone who has a 760 score with a 3% interest rate, paying $1,686 a month. They continue to save. So you can't afford to not be focused on what the credit card company is trying to make sure you're not focused on. So your action plan that I want you to start today, you got to find your statement date, log into every card account and locate your closing statement date. Next, set a reminder 7 days before. Give yourself a week to pay down your balance before the bureaus see it. This is going to impact credit utilization, and this is going to raise your scores. Pay down to under 10%. If your limit is $5,000, keep your balance under $500 on the statement date, not the due date. This is the date they're hiding. Pay the remaining by the due date if you choose. You can avoid any interest by clearing the rest before the due date. You control both. But what you can't afford to do is to pay this payment that won't be in full for most Americans on your due date, because they've already reported you to the bureaus, they've already charged you interest, and they are locking you in something that is not really what you're playing. You were trying to pay early, but unfortunately, because of the system, you end up paying late. So you've got to get these things aligned. Now, I want to take a moment to be very, very clear with you so that you understand what it is we're sharing. So the credit card company is working overtime to hide the statement date from all of us. And here's the way you can tell they're doing it. When you get your bill, you're going to notice that at the bottom of your bill, they are always highly recommending for you and for me a minimum payment on a due date. This is going to trigger most people who have bad financial management. And unfortunately, it triggers a lot of entrepreneurs. You figure, well, if this is all I got to pay to stay in their good graces, then I'm going to keep more money in the business. I'm going to keep more money in my account. I'm going to keep more money in my pockets. So you end up paying the minimum payment by the due date, not knowing that they have already reported your balance and charged you interest on the statement date. So let's explain the 4 things about the credit card so that you can see how these play out and when you should be making payments. So every credit card has a billing cycle. Your billing cycle ends on your statement date. So that's the second thing. After the statement date is typically a grace period. Between the statement date and your due date, it could be 25 days, it could be 26 days, but there's a time between the statement date and the due date. So that's the grace period. And the 4th thing is the due date. So there's billing cycle, statement date, grace period, due date. The problem for all of us, each and every one of us, the problem is they report our payments, unfortunately, on the statement date and not the due date. So how does that affect you? Here you got the billing cycle ending on a statement date, and you don't know anything about the statement date because this is the date they're going to prepare me and send me my bill. So the day you get your bill, if it's in the mail, it's already passed. If it's electronic, it could be the day they printed it. They've already charged you interest. They've locked you down. So you already have the credit bureaus are going to get a number, and you think that the payment you're going to make in 25 days is going to be beneficial. It's just the bare minimum. Now here's something else that I've discovered in studying this system. On your statement date, this is the date that they figure the minimum payment. It's a calculation to their benefit, but they want you and I doing it. I have a client who had a $5,000 balance, and they were making minimum payments on a $5,000 balance. If they stayed doing it, it would take them 20 years. I'll say that again. 20 years to pay down a $5,000 balance. And when they were done, they would have paid over $9,400 back to the credit card company, paying minimum payments. So listen, let's be very clear. This is no trick. This is no joke. The credit card company is strategically invested in hiding the statement date from you. They are working overtime to hide it from you. Now, you got to understand, I started this off by saying to you, every system, you got to pay attention to what the system is talking about. Because whatever the system is saying, it is what is making them money. And the credit card system is saying a few things. It's saying minimum payment, it's saying auto pay, and it's saying due date. If you log into your credit card company right now and say you want to do auto pay, the recommendation inside the algorithm is going to be that you make auto payment of a minimum payment on the due date. The average person can't handle the suggestion. They can't hear the suggestion and realize that no, if you make me pay the minimum payment, I'm going to be paying forever. They see that as a way to keep more money and still be in good graces with the credit card company. So they take the minimum payment trap. It is a debt trap. You are already late. Now, let me share something else that's critical that you understand this. Every credit card has a due date and a statement date in every month, but they are not from the same billing cycle. I'll slow down because I need you to get this. If you go and look right now, you're going to find out that for the month of April, you've got a due date. And that's the date they want you to look at. But you're also going to have a statement date that's going to be a few days later. The problem is The due date is from the prior billing cycle, and the statement date is the ending of the current cycle. So while they've got you focused on the due date, you are behind. You are 20, 25, 28 days behind when they've reported you to the credit bureau. So that's why I assigned you today, challenge you to go to your credit card company, find what your closing statement date is. Find what your statement date, whatever they want to call it. Some call it statement date, some call it closing date. Listen to their strategy. The due date for your credit card is the same day every month. The statement date fluctuates by 1 or 2 days here and there. So what I want you to do is find it, knowing that it's going to fluctuate 1 or 2 days, and just back up 3 days and set a reminder. This is the day I want to make my payment. Now, to make it real simple for you, if you know the day your billing cycle begins, which is easy to discover going to your credit card company online, the day your billing cycle begins, you want to make sure that payment is made no later than 27 days later. This is going to always put you on time. It's going to put you early. And here's what's going to happen. You try this, you'll see it. If you make that payment prior to the statement date, when your statement comes, it's going to say you owe nothing. And you know why it's going to say that? Because you made the payment right before they printed the statement. And so there is no minimum for any due date. It's going to say nothing owed because you paid in a way that you cut interest, you cut utilization, and you helped your credit score. If you don't pay before the statement date, when your statement comes, there's always going to be an amount due because you are late. They have already reported you to the credit bureau. They have already charged you interest and locked in your balance. So we're not going to be tricked. Listen to me, my friends. The credit card company is spending millions to make sure you never understand the statement date. I have people who, when I teach this, will argue with me. But no, I pay by the due date. If you don't pay by the due date, you're going to get late payment. That's their game. Their game says, how can we get them to focus on the due date? I tell you what we'll do. We'll tell them that if you are 1 day late after the due date, we're going to hit you with a $35 late payment. And so now your brain says, oh my goodness, I just got to make sure I make the payment by the due date. And so then you log in and they get you by saying auto pay, minimum payment, due date. And that has been done to people who are going to be stuck for a long time, You got to know what the credit card company is trying to hide from us and why. And what they're hiding is the statement date. I'm going to say it again. What the credit card company is hiding from you. And here's how you can tell. You're watching this, whether live or recorded, you probably don't know your statement date for the month of April. Because your statement date for the month of April is literally the end of the current billing cycle. But you probably don't know when it is because they don't want you to know. But you can easily find your due date for April, but it's not from the current cycle. It's late. You've already been reported. It's too late. So what you got to do is get ahead of their game. They don't want you to know the statement date. I'm exposing that to you today. They're taking extra money out your pockets by making you wait from statement date to due date. They're cleaning you out, and you've got to learn. Now, there's one more thing I want to share with you in the area of what they're hiding. Statement date for sure, but while I'm talking, let me add this in. They're also hiding your credit card agreement, because your credit card agreement will show you why this is what you want to know. But there's something else in that credit card agreement. That credit card agreement is also going to tell you that you typically, for the average credit card, have a right to never be taken to court because you are late. You owe. They would have to take you to arbitration. But they don't want you to know that. They want to sell your debt to a collection agency if you don't pay, and then let the collection agency take you to court, get a default judgment because you're scared to show up or you don't answer, and then someone else is collecting money off you. So the credit card company advertises to the collection agencies, we've got all these accounts that are for sale, pennies on the dollar. You can collect all this money. Well, actually, if you understood your credit card agreement, they would have to go through arbitration where they have to spend a lot of money. And my clients are constantly knocking these cases out of court because the companies don't want arbitration. So what do they have to do if they don't want arbitration? Hide the credit card agreement from you. Ask yourself, do I have my credit card agreement? What's in my credit card agreement? What does my credit card agreement say about a penalty APR? What does my credit card agreement say about a grace period that'll go away if I'm late on a payment? What does my credit card agreement say about when the reporting happens? What does it say about attempts to collect from me? Can they take me to court or not? It's all in the agreement that we just typically check a box and be done with it, never saving it, never reading it again, letting them send us the credit card and keep sending us a statement that will keep us being late, being charged more interest, having a higher credit score, having higher utilization, staying in a debt trap when we could be rising and accelerating and leveraging our credit to get their money in our hands so that we could fulfill our goals. If you are an entrepreneur, you have got to learn this. If you're an individual, who knows what your ideas may be about leveraging in the future, and so you can't afford to play their game. What's the game? The game is diversion. Make them believe the most important thing about their credit card, besides using it, is making sure the payment is made by the due date. It is deception. Your job today, if you're serious about raising your credit scores, you're serious about leveraging your credit, about getting other people's money in your life so that you can accomplish your goals, your goal today is to go to your credit cards, log into your account, find out when is your closing date, ask about your billing cycle, look it up, find out, and then make your payment in the billing cycle. That's what I'm teaching. Make the payment in the billing cycle. You don't make your payment 25 days after the billing cycle when they're going to ask you to do it. No, I'm going to make mine in the billing cycle before the statement date so that when you report me, you have to report lower utilization. When you report me, you're going to have to report that the payment has been made. When you report me, you are going to have to charge me less in interest because I paid prior to the statement. I'm not going to be behind. I'm not going to make a payment and be like, where's it at? I don't see it on my credit report, because it's going to show up next month. No. I'm going to switch from the due date to the statement date, and I'm going to win. Well, it's been my absolute pleasure to share with you today. If you got questions, comments, please do not hesitate to put them in. Do not hesitate to subscribe. And listen, do me a favor. Check out the videos that we have available in the area of credit cards. We've got videos available in the area of systems and things that you should be doing to advance, and expect to see us here again and again for your benefit. Well, I'm excited. I'm Dwayne, the Success King. My job is to help you align credit, business, and life so that the money will finally flow. You be blessed. I look forward to talking to you again real soon. You take care. You stay in touch.